found yourself here because of quarantine curiosities and are completely bored, stuck at home, figuring out some kind of sustainable thing you can do to keep yourself occupied. Or maybe you're wanting to be more self-reliant because you realize that you're forced to participate as a cog in the capitalist nightmare. Or maybe you're raising chicks for the first time, like me, and don't know what the heck to do. Wherever you are in your chicken journey, I hope you find some joy, value, or inspiration in these vlogs. Apologies in advance for the length of this video. Stay tuned. So today's plan is to clean out their brooder box and line it with some pine shavings. So before I clean anything out, I get all my stuff prepared. So here I have some paper towels. I have a little bowl here with warm water and some Q-tips. So I need these two things to clean out any pasty butt situations. So pasty butt is a pretty common thing, especially for male chicks. And what happens is poop doesn't fully express itself and gets stuck to the chick's vent. And when that happens, their digestive tract gets clogged up and then they can't poop and it can be fatal. So for the first few weeks, you want to make sure to monitor any pasty butt situations and make sure to clean their vents so then they can fully and comfortably express their poo-poos. So I have my bowl of warm water and I'll show you how I clean that off. Some Q-tips. I have this old bark box cardboard thing that I use to keep the chicks in when I am taking them out of the brooder box. I have my lamp here so then I can look more closely at their booty holes. And food ready here, the chick grits right there. I'm gonna grab a bag for trash and get started. One of the bigger black ones, and the black ones I still have a hard time telling them apart. There's Dashi. So let's check their butt. Let me get a little close up on that, and it looks clean. If you want to see what a clean vent looks like. Perfect. Give them a little pet. Then I stick them in the little box. I try to work as quickly as possible because you still need some help regulating temperature. Even at 1 week old, they still need around 90 to 95 degrees heat. So you see here, this isn't really quite pasty butt. Let me get a better angle. So this isn't really quite pasty butt. But you see there's a little poo crumb hanging on the edge. What I'll do is I'll just try to clean it off just in case. I'll dip the Q-tip in the warm water and then just set that Q-tip right over that little poop morsel. And then I'm just essentially softening it up because you never want to pull any of this off. You could tear their skin that can lead to even more pain and possibly infection. So I'll just soften that up, and they might chirp a little because I'm sure it's a weird feeling for them. And then once it's loosened, I'll take the dry end and then move it out of the way, flick it off. So now it is clean. Chick, 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 chick. This one's another big one. Hi. So check their butt, looking good. I also make sure to check their eyes because one chick got poop in one of their eyes and that got pretty gross. It crusted over, and for a little bit that chick couldn't open that eye, and it's still not 100%, and I'm not really sure if that chick can see completely through that eye, but it's been okay for the past day. But I just make sure to check all their eyes just in case another chick got poop in their eyes. Okay, so I got all the chicks out. They're in this little box. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little weight on that box so then they won't escape. And turn this. Next thing I do is remove the water and the food dishes. I'm gonna check in y'all in a little bit to see how they're adjusting to that pine bedding. So it's been about 2 hours since I changed their bedding and cleaned the brooder box. So within those 2 hours, probably the first 30 minutes, I changed the setup because we ran into some issues. So initially the heating element was up there in that corner, and their food was lined up down here. So the first thing I noticed was that they're kicking up the pine shavings into their waterer. So I elevated it with this little wooden tray found at the Dollar Tree, and that helped a lot. I was a little concerned that they wouldn't be able to reach with their little heads and beaks into the water, but they're having a good time with that. And then the second thing I noticed is that I put way too many pine shavings in the brooder box. So I took maybe around 5 handfuls out, spread them out a little bit more evenly, and I think it's helping them realize that they can scratch and peck for the feed that has fallen out of the food tins. So you'll see they're doing that right now. So I think the setup is working pretty well right now. They're getting used to the pine shavings. Pretty sure they understand that it's not something that they should be eating. And it's giving them more of an opportunity to practice that scratching and pecking move, which is something that they will certainly have to do when they're in their coop and run, and if I let them sort of free range out in the yard. And this one is enjoying some water. So cute how they drink. So I'm gonna go ahead and refill their food. They've been going through their feed a lot more quickly the past few days, which is a great sign. So let's empty this one out. And this one, sorry. I'll get that one in a moment. Chick, 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 chick. Chick, 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 chick. Excuse me. Chick, 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 chick. Down for a moment. So the chick starter that I use recommends that I sprinkle some chick grit over their food. So here's some chick grit. And this is going to help them essentially chew up, grind up their food. So the chick grit I use is from Demore, and it's just ground up granite. Super, super tiny. You want to make sure that you get the size for chicks and not adult chickens. So they'll probably use this for anything up to 8 weeks or maybe longer. I have to double check. If you don't know why grit is so important, so chickens, and I think most birds, if not all, for sure all birds, well, they don't have teeth, and what they do is collect pebbles, sand, even dirt, and store that in this little area near it's under their beak, in their throat. I forget what that little pouch is called. But it's like around where the gizzards are. It might be called the gizzards. Anyway, they store these little granules in there, and when they swallow their food, the food gets caught in there, and then those granules grind up and sort of chew that food, and then the food makes its way through the digestive tract. So chickens need grit in order to fully process their food and get all of the nutrients from their food. And I think the reason why the chick starter that I'm using, and I'll link the brand below, the reason why the chick starter I'm using asks for grit is because it has a bunch of these. It's like an awesome collection of grains and oats, more finely milled than chicken grower feed. So they need that grit to fully process those things in the food. In my research, I learned that a lot of people who raise chickens have their own sort of take on grit. So of course, I'm still learning, and as far as I know, leaving that grit, sprinkling it in there on top of their food is helping them. I've noticed that their poops are pretty solid, and the amount of pasty butt situations, there's just a couple, 2 or 3, and they're not bad at all. So I think they're doing okay in terms of processing and expressing their poop.